guys, this is Danish. I'm back with our free community webinar sessions. I'm really excited today because Eleanor is joining us to talk about France. What a great country France is. We will be diving in straight away, but before we go ahead, I just quickly want to share some free community resources so you can all take advantage. So I'm going to share my screen. And first, a resource I'm going to talk to you about is visadb.io. Is a free database funded by European Union and other global organizations. Is my project. I started it out of my passion to help the global mobility. So you can check it out. It has 800 visas, long-term visas, digital nomad visas, entrepreneur, all type of visas. So what do you need to do? Simply enter the destination you want to go, and boom. Oops. Okay, let me check the country, and then here we go. So it got you 11 visas. If you're from Canada, I'm a Canadian citizen. I'm an immigrant as well, and you can check it out. And if you click on any visa, it shows you the eligibility of that visa, the documents required, the cost of living comparison, and number of expats. This is a quite interesting data because I could quickly see how many people from Canada moved to France. So, and other citizenship. The second shout out I want to give is to Safety Wing. They are supporting our free community sessions, so thanks to them, but they are quite famous and have incredible insurance products for digital nomads. I also use them. A lot of people use them. Always be protected, guys, when you're abroad, so check them out. The third and the last resource I want to share is the bank. It's about France, but of course, most of digital nomads set up their businesses, online businesses in the United States. And to have a business bank account, a free business bank account, which allows you to do your banking free of cost and even send international wire transfer fee. We would love it, right? And you don't need to travel to the United States. You can open it remotely from anywhere in the world. I'm using 2 of their accounts. A lot of people use it. So these were the shouts outs and community supporters. Now I'm back on my screen. Eleanor is from Alexity. She is a lawyer registered in France. She is originally she's half Senegalese and half Portuguese. And she grew up in Italy and right now in France. And she's passionate about helping people from all over the world to move to France. She's like the best person to do that based on her background. Eleanor, we are so excited to have you here, but I really want to show my gratitude to you for coming in today. How is it going? How is your day so far?
Thank you, Danish. Thanks to you to have me here to present the French immigration processes. It's wonderful to be part of this community. So yes, I'm an attorney here in France specializing about immigration, and as Danish explained, I'm from all over the place, so I really understand the issues that immigration can cause, and I am very happy to help with this.
Really, this is incredible. And also, let's straight dive in. You know, why wait? So my first question to you, is like, everybody knows France. Eiffel Tower is amazing, is incredible. Like, why people want to move to France? What are the top benefits? I'm talking about not from tourist perspective, but actually expats, economic migrants love France as well. So could you tell us why people from all over the world want to move to France to work or to live?
Yeah, everyone wants to come to France, of course, for the good weather, for the good food, the good wine. All of this is very attractive. You have the mountains, you have the sea, you have the culture. And this is interesting for everyone, not just as a tourist, but of course for living for a long time here. So you have many things to do. And why is it interesting to immigrate to France for economic reasons is because France is trying to attract a lot the young talents, the new talents, the startups, and little by little people who want to work remotely in France. Under Macron, we have the Passport Talent Visa, which is a brand new family of visa which aims to attract economical migrants in France.
Wow, this is incredible. French government is quite like under Macron's leadership is quite like a magnet of talent. They are creating paths, visa options for everyone. So let's start with if let's say everybody wants to move to France, so we don't even need to talk more about it. But now I want to move to France. And my first question would be, what are the top visa options for anyone from around the world who would like to relocate to France for working or for living?
So I could say that for the main families for visas and as well residence permits are, of course, the visa for tourism or private reasons. You also have the big category of the visas for professional reasons, the visas for international talents. This is what I was talking about earlier. The visa for family reason, if you have a French spouse, French children, or French brothers and sisters, why not? And of course, the visa for students or trainees that want to come to France for their studies or for an internship. This is also a possibility.
Wow. This is incredible. You categorize into 4 boxes to create a clarity around the visa system. This is incredible. I love it.
We always try to be very, very clear and simple at Lexidi, because the immigration processes can be sometimes quite overwhelming. You don't really know what to choose, in which category you may fall, because you can also fall in a large categories and different type of visas. So it's important to be straightforward and clear.
Yes, this is amazing. We love it, Eleanor. So if I pick the first box, like a tourist box, let's say, and general tourism, everybody knows they can go to their government website. But what if, as a Canadian passport holder, I would like to stay longer than 90 days in France? Is there any visa option for me?
Okay, you could, the tourist Schengen visa, as you stressed out, is for 19 days, so this is quite easy to get. But there is also a work and holiday bilateral agreements with a lot of different countries. So it's always important to check if your country has a bilateral agreement with France, which can allow you to stay longer. And of course, which is something that is very interesting for a lot of individuals and for a lot of our clients, is the visitor visa. The visitor visa is kind of, I could say it's more like a tourist visa, but not specifically, because it allows you to stay in France for 1 year or more. It is renewable quite easily. But the main condition is that you commit not to work in France. So you are able to reside in France as long as you have sufficient economic means and that you are not working under a French employment contract.
Wow.
So this is a good option for extending the tourist visa.
Yeah, wow. So I don't know, but I feel this could be utilized by remote workers. Is that true?
For remote workers, this point is still discussed, because we do not have case law or legal rule that says that you can work remotely. And we saw, especially last week, I had an answer from the Consulate of France in Washington saying that it allowed one of our clients to work in France under an American contract. So this was allowed by some consulates, but it's not the general rule. So for now, it's just a specific case. We need to see in the future how it is considered. But yes, for a short period of time, of course, we wouldn't have any problems. But normally, let's say the visitor visa is not for working even remotely. We have other kinds of visa for remote workers.
Okay, sounds good. So it's like someone who just want to be on holidays for a longer period, they can apply the visitor visas. And guys, just to let you know, visitor visa is different than the tourist or Schengen visa. They're two different. Absolutely. I learned.
The Schengen visa for tourism is for 19 days only, while the visitor visa is a 1 year visa, and you can renew it. So it's, for instance, I have some clients who are married or that are the family members of someone who is working in France or who is in France for other grounds, and they apply for this visa because it's quite easy to meet the criteria and to get it. And also it's very interesting for the retired people that want to come to France and that, of course, are not going to work because they have already done. Yeah.
That would be my dream, to get retired and be in France, drinking, sipping wine and enjoying the beautiful landscape. So this is incredible. And also, I want to move into the new next box or next category, which you mentioned, for economic reasons, for economic migrants, for people who would like to find economic opportunities in France. What are the visa options for them?
So we have the talent passport visa. If you want, I can speak about this a little bit. We have three main categories within this big family. For high qualified employees, for persons who want to create a company or to invest financially in a company, or for international recognition, for instance, for artists or renowned personalities. But it is also possible, if you find an employer who is in France, to ask for I would say, a normal employee visa. Sorry. And first, the French company or the company that is settled in France and that wants to hire you needs to ask for a working authorization for you in front of the Ministry of the Interior in France. And once you have this authorization, you can apply for the visa, the employed visa. In French, we call it salarié. It's when you have an employment contract with a company which can be French or which can be from another country but settled in France. And yes, there are a lot of different options and different categories for this kind of visas.
This is incredible. So, guys, as Eleanor said, there's many categories and many purposes and many things you can use it. So, Eleanor is the person to reach out to ask what would be the perfect category. She explained a lot of categories. The one that would be very distinct is that if you have a job offer, then it's a different route. Correct, Eleanor?
Exactly. It's usually it's easier when you have a company that is willing to help you to do the paperwork, because you need to ask for the authorization, etc. If you don't worry, because we can help you with this, and we are very used to fill these applications and to get the authorization for our clients.
Yes, this is incredible. So if I talk to you about, let's say, most of the people might have a job offer, but maybe their employers will be helping you, but a lot of people maybe do not, and who would like to come to us, to you, to ask help. So I want to talk to you about the international, let's say, the high talent. You mentioned something about that. What is that visa, and what are the requirements of this high talent visa?
Okay, for this international talent visa, I explained before, there are three categories. So first one, well, I'll say the one that is less used is for international recognition, for artists, renowned personalities. Otherwise, you have the one for high qualified employees. So it's, for instance, intra-company transfer, or as well, if a French company wants to hire you, and usually they are is to be met. So depending on the type of work you're doing and the type of visa you are applying for, you need to prove that you will earn at least this or this or this amount. And then there is also the category of the creation of a company, or for persons who want to invest in a company. Yes, this is also possible.
Let's say, the international talent, I don't know what is the minimum criteria, but am I famous enough to get that visa, or it is really for Michael Jackson type or like pop star type?
It depends. You can be whatever kind of artist or renowned. You can also be like a journalist or a writer. This is possible. You do not have to be super famous. You just need to prove that you are a little bit famous, that you have some contracts, for instance, with the editors or with the journal, or with that you are doing concerts, or whatever you can prove that you are selling your art in some way. And you need to show that you earn a little bit of money with your work. So usually the amount is not too high, because depending on the job you do or the kind of artist that you are, they do not ask for a lot of income. But yes, this is for, this possibility exists for a lot of our clients. Yes.
That's good to know. But most of the people, let's say, if we talk about if they can open a company if I ask you generally, what is the criteria if I would like to open my company to get that residence permit?
If you want to open your company, there are two categories. You can be, for instance, self-employed or with a little company, and then you do not have to show that your company has a big turnover or whatever. It can also be a company that you want to create but does not exist right now. And you can fall within the category of, I would say, the normal entrepreneur visa, so for self-employed persons. Otherwise, there is also the possibility to ask for entrepreneur visa under the talent passport. But to meet the talent passport conditions, you need to show that you're going to invest at least 30,000 euros in your company. So these are the different criteria. More or less, I'm simplifying, but it's mainly this.
Yeah, it is getting like very further branches are coming out, and now I heard the term talent passport. We will organize the event around that alone. But if you generally want to tell us what is talent passport is and what French government is trying to do, what is the purpose of that?
Yeah, the talent passport is something quite new that happened under Emmanuel Macron, the French president. It was to attract economic immigrants into France and to incentivize people to create their business in France or to innovate in France or to create employment in France. For this kind of visas, usually, but not always, you need to show that you're going to whether earn a certain amount of money or invest. Except for, of course, the artists or the renewed personalities. This is not a condition that they need to meet. But yes, passport talent is, if you can get it, it's very interesting because it allows you to stay in France up to 4 years. You can bring your family very easily with you. And this is different from the other kind of visa, which don't necessarily gives you the right to take your family with you. You need to pass through the process of family reunification, which is not so complicated, but it takes a little bit of time and it's something more to do. So if you can get the passport talent, it's always better.
Sure. So passport talent gives you, like, of course, your family comes with this passport talent. And also you get a faster processing, I believe. And also, what is the path after 4 years of this temporary residence? Is it a temporary residence or permanent residence, by the way?
It's a temporary residency. In France, we do not have yet the permanent residency, except from some very, very specific cases. But yes, it's you can have this residency card for up to 4 years. And this is different from the other kind of residency permit that usually you have to renew on a yearly basis normally, but then it depends another time. And then you can renew it and it's easy. You can always change also residency permit type. And this is valid for whatever kind of visa you may have. It's always possible to change status.
This is incredible because normally the temporary residents are for 1 year each in Europe and then you need to renew them. But this passport talent gives you 4 years of temporary residence straight away. And now my next question would be, what does the path look like towards passport after this 4 years?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So what is the, after 4 years, what happens after 4 years?
After 4 years, you have to renew your passport talent. So you can apply for the same one that you have already had or change that. You can change, you can ask for another kind of visa. And when you have 5 years of residency in France with a residency permit, you can apply for the 10-year residency card. And this is interesting because then you're fine for 10 years. You do not have to reapply and to go to the administration, submit a new file again. So yes.
Wow. This is good. So I don't know, how does like in Canada, I'm an immigrant, so my path looks like direct PR after 3 years passport. Can you tell us how the path to citizenship looks like generally on all temporary visas to the passport?
Yes. In France, to apply for French citizenship, when you do not have one of your parents that is French, or when you were not born in France, you can apply in front of the administration. So it's called the prefecture of the place where you are living, and normally they ask you that you have at least 5 years of permanent residency, at least 5 years of legal residency in France. So you need to have a residency permit for the 5 past years. And they also ask you to show what is your family life, if you are married, if you have children, if you're working, what kind of job you're doing, how much you are earning, if you pay taxes or not. All this is very important. And of course, they ask you if you know French culture. Excuse me.
Yeah. So that's good. So is like, do I have to do a French language test of some sort?
Yes, they check your language, and it's important to pass a language test unless you have a French high degree diploma. If you show that you have been to university, for instance, in France, and that you have let's say a master's degree or another kind of degree, you do not have to pass this test. And as well, if you come from a French-speaking country and that you have a diploma from that country, you can validate it in order to show to the French authorities that you do speak French and that you do not have to pass this exam. And there is also a little examination, but it's very quick. People should not be afraid of this, about French culture. So if you know the basics of French culture, and this, a little bit of history, a little bit of the political assembly, and how things do work in France.
Yeah. If I write wine, cheese, and bread, would I pass the test?
You can try, but definitely they will think that you're in a good path.
Okay, this is incredible. So Eleanor, I think we have a lot of questions, but I'm not even sure if we can cover that, but let's try and let's see what people are asking, and then we can continue further chat. So Lachiko asks, can you get a residency permit while on a visitor visa? Good question.
Okay, so when you are outside France, you apply for a visa. When you get your visa, then you travel to France. And once you are in France, you go to the administration, so the prefecture, and there you apply for a residency card. So they will give you a residency card, which will be written visitor, but it will be a residency card. So the visitor visa, as well as the talent passport visa, the working visa, the family reason visa, eventually leads to a residency card. This is valid for almost all kinds of visa except the short ones, so the tourist one, the internship ones, etc.
Yeah, that's cool. Kiri asked, what are the requirements for a 1-year-long visitor visa?
Yes, you have the conditions.
Yeah.
Okay, so the conditions is the main one, as I stressed out since the beginning, is that you must not work in France. So you do not have to have an employment contract, and normally, but this point is discussed, you cannot work remote, even if we can still find a solution for you. Yes, this is the first condition. Then you need to have a medical insurance. This is very important, covering at least 1 year, and valid for France, and up to more or less 30,000 euros. And the third condition is that you need to show that you have savings or money or foreign income, and this must be equivalent to the minimum wage in France, which is more or less 1,500 these days. So if you show, let's say that you have 15 euros blocked in a bank account, it will do. But it can also be whatever other kind of income that you may have, for instance, rental income or banking assets that you may have. So you need to think medical insurance, no work, and 50,000 euros somewhere.
Okay. That sounds, I think, not bad, because most of the countries also demand such requirements. I will move to the next question from also is France going to have a digital nomad visa soon? Is there a talk?
This is a good question. I hope so. We are talking about this, but I saw talking with my colleagues from Lex City. You know, we have offices everywhere in Europe, almost everywhere. I saw that in Spain and in Italy, they are seriously talking about this. There have been projects that have been submitted to the parliament. In France, unfortunately, we have not been that far yet, but there are other options. The entrepreneur visa is the one that is more similar to the digital nomad visa. So, for instance, if you have your own company, if you want to work remotely as a self-employed person, you just need to register in front of the French administration saying that you're going to be self-employed and that you have like a tiny micro-entreprise, and this is valid. This could be one way to attract digital nomads in France. Otherwise, if you're working remotely from your company under an employment contract, your company needs to declare you in front of the French administration. Well, then I can send you the details, of course, to whoever is interested in this. And once you get the authorization as a foreign company for one of your employees that wants to work remotely, then you can apply for one of these remote visa. And yeah, these are the possibilities that we have right now for digital nomads.
Wow, this is incredible. Thank you very much for the detailed answer, Eleanor. I will move to the next question. And Danny is asking, generally, for all the temporary visas, when you apply, do you need to submit a proof of accommodation? You know, some countries demand a 1-year lease or something like that.
Oh, not really, but you need to have an address, well, somewhere where you're going to stay. But you can, of course, for instance, I have a lot of people do hire an Airbnb or something like this, or a short lease before their arrival, and this is accepted by the consulates generally. So you can have like an agreement of some kind for the first weeks or first months of your stay, and then change. This is absolutely possible. You can also have a housing certificate from someone you know, a friend, or wherever you are going to stay.
Wow, yeah, that's a good one, I guess. Mm-hmm. So you can definitely use others, or just you need an address. So Michael, our dearest Michael, asked, is there a working holiday visa in France? I think the answer is yes. It's just, do you know, Eleanor, which countries are there? I know Canada is there.
Yes, you have working holidays in France. It doesn't exist for every country, but I think from memory, just like this, I think it was with the 12 countries that we have a bilateral agreement, and this allows you to stay in France for an extended period of time, of course, while you are working, and yeah, this allows it's different than the visitor visa because you can work, of course, and so it's interesting, especially for the young people.
Yes, for the young people. I do not fall in that category anymore, but no, I did apply working holiday visa to Germany, and I also know because France also has it for Canadians. I was browsing it. Yeah, so Michael, the best could be go to visadb. We have all the working holiday visas. Enter your citizenship and then check, and you will see if it's available for you or not. I'll move to the last few questions. I'm sorry, Ellen, you want to say something?
No.
Sure. So I know we have already kind of over our time limit, but please allow me to ask these last 1 or 2 questions. From Lulu, do you know how much income they require from actors? That's a very specific question.
Yes, it's very specific, but you're lucky because I had one of these cases a few days ago, so I know the answer.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, for artists in general, so not specifically for actors, but it can be for every kind of artist. You need to show that 70% of your income is coming from your artistic activity. And so this is very important, like to show that you have contracts. Usually I ask the persons to print their banking statements so we see, and also to give to the consulate all the contracts, the pay slips you may have had while doing your activity. And yes, for artists and actors, the financial resources are the minimum wage in France. So it's today it shifts all the time, but today it's more or less 1,500 euros.
Oh, wow. That's totally not bad. And that's a 70% of your income, guys. If you're making about a little bit of 2,000, you could totally contact Eleanor.
Exactly.
Yeah, wow. And
yeah, you need to show that you have this money, and within this amount, 70% must come from your, more or less 17% must come from your artistic activity.
Okay, and I'm sure a lot of Instagram would fall into actor category as well. I don't know, but we'll talk about it later. But Eleanor, I have another question. Wow, I didn't know France didn't have a PR. Is it like France does not have a PR, or does it have a PR after temporary residence?
Permanent residency permit, you mean? Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
No, you have a 10-year residency card that you need to renew. This is for everyone the same, yes. But 10 years is sufficient, you can renew it once in a while, and usually it's okay. And also you can apply for French nationality during that time. It's not too bad.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think I like it. Like legal residency is much easier than different type of, like some countries you have to live on permanent resident for 5 years, then you apply. But in France, any kind of legal residency, you're good, right?
Yes, exactly. Any kind. Then there are specific types of visa that do not allow you. Of course, for instance, if you have a tourist visa or working holiday visa, you can't. But for the main categories I have been speaking about, definitely you can, after 5 years, apply for nationality if you meet the other criteria, of course.
Yeah. So if the visa had the word holiday, then of course it doesn't make sense because you're there holiday, right? Tourist visa or working holiday visa, or maybe visitor visa as well, I assume.
I had some clients who managed to have the French citizenship with a visitor visa, so everything is possible.
Incredible. And Lord, I think you are like a true professional. You already mentioned a few cases you already done. So guys who are watching me right now, we're surprised with this attendance. So France is kind of famous. I'm sure most of you guys are maybe not digital nomad, but economic migrants looking to move abroad. But even anyone who's watching this session on YouTube, I would really like to give a big shout out to Eleanor. You have seen her. She's friendly, she's fun, and also she's a true professional. She's a lawyer, and she will help you to move to France. Along with your families. If you're an innovator, contact her. If you are an Instagram actor or general actor, or you have any kind of talent, contact her. She will get you there. If you're a programmer, don't worry about it. You can fall into this high-tech talent category, international talent category. So there is some path for anyone as long as you qualified in somewhat way. Either you have a talent or you are a professional. So reach her out. There is a link there, and we also on the YouTube video you can see the link. But you can also go to visadb.io and find her. She's a part of the Lex City gang, which is expanding around Europe. And we have a very special partnership for our community and for everyone, to be honest, So please contact her, contact Eleanor. She's incredible. Share with your friends. If somebody is moving there, she's our expert who's going to help. Eleanor, I want to take 10 seconds. I want to show my gratitude, on the behalf of 152,000 members who are not there, but all of them want us to say thank you and show our gratitude to you.
Thank you, Danish. Thank you for having me and for your very interesting and straightforward questions. And thank you for our audience and all the questions and reactions that we had.
Yes. So, Eleanor, we will be, guys, you're watching us. This was a general session around France. We will be diving in because a lot of programmers, even including my friends, they all are mostly techies. So we will organize some separate sessions for specific professionals. like tech or investors or people who want to start company with Eleanor in upcoming months. So keep watching the YouTube channel if you're there. But thank you, everybody. And actually, tomorrow we are talking about the webinar around registering your companies in the US. So join in if you're there. But have a wonderful day and promise me to have a lot of fun this weekend. Eleanor, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Danish. See you soon.
Take care. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.